The SteerStopper. It's a new bicycle accessory designed to solve an issue every cyclist has encountered at one point or another. That of having your bicycle tilt, slide, or completely fall over whenever it's placed in a leaned or parked position. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? You go for a bike ride and pull over on the side of the road to take a photo, eat a snack, drink some water, go to the bathroom, or simply give your backside a break from the saddle. You get off your bike, lean it up against some nearby object, and then you walk away. Seconds later, you turn your back, the wind blows, or your front wheel turns, and there's suddenly a loud crash. Your bicycle has fallen over, slamming to the ground in a sad metal heap. The SteerStopper sets out to solve this problem by simply locking your front wheel in position whenever you go to park your bike. Whenever you stop cycling, simply lock the SteerStopper in position and then lean your bike up against a nearby object. Because the front wheel is no longer free to turn, the bike is dramatically more stable and far less likely to fall over. This may not seem like that big of a deal, but for individuals riding a bike with a lot of weight on the front, such as those participating in a long-distance bike tour, the SteerStopper works wonders to protect your bicycle from chipped paint, damage to your derailleurs, or any other belongings you might be carrying with you on your bike. The SteerStopper is also useful in scenarios where you might need to lift your bicycle up onto a garage bike rack or the roof of your car. Normally, this is a pretty difficult task, as you need to hold the front fork and the rear end of your bicycle in position so that the front wheel doesn't tilt, hit you in the face, or cause you to lose balance entirely. But with the SteerStopper, you're able to simply lock the front wheel in position and then easily lift the entire bike up in one foul swoop. While the SteerStopper does what it sets out to do and is incredibly well made, there are some drawbacks to this product. Namely, the fact that the SteerStopper is not meant to be used like a kickstand to keep your bicycle balanced and upright without the use of some object to lean the bicycle against. If you're traveling through the desert, for example, and you want to keep your bicycle upright when you come to a stop, you would need to use the SteerStopper in conjunction with a traditional kickstand or a product like the ClickStand. Secondly, you might be wondering if it's possible to quickly and easily move the SteerStopper from one bicycle to another. Yes, it's possible, but no, it's not easy. If you have multiple bicycles, you're probably going to want a SteerStopper for each of your bikes. In the end, the SteerStopper is a high-end bicycle accessory that I suspect will split the cycling industry in two. Half of the people who see or hear about the SteerStopper are going to think it's genius and will want one for their bicycle right away, while the other half of the people, I suspect, will think the product is unnecessary. I guess the big question is, which kind of person are you? To learn more about the SteerStopper, how it works, and buy one for your own bicycle, be sure to visit the official website at SteerStopper.com. Hello, Darren Alf here from BicycleTouringPro.com. I've had the SteerStopper on my bicycle for several months now, and to be completely honest, it's come in handy way more often than I thought. For situations like this, where you're just leaning the bike up against a tree or a signpost or a picnic table, it really does a lot to stabilize the front end of your bicycle so that your bike doesn't start to slide or fall completely over. For me, the thing that the SteerStopper has come in handy most for is lifting my bicycle up onto the roof of my van. And that's not something that I do super frequently, but when I do, having that SteerStopper on the front of my bike has really come in handy. Now, you might not be aware of it, but the SteerStopper is a type of product called a bicycle stabilizer, and there have been other bicycle stabilizers in the past, so this is not a completely unique product. The design of it is unique, and I can say after extensive use and research with the SteerStopper and its competitors, the SteerStopper is easily the best bicycle stabilizer on the market. It's the best made, it's the most stable, and I think it's the most easy to use because of its position here at the front of your bicycle. A lot of the other stabilizers are positioned down here, kind of on the down tube or between your front wheel and the down tube, and they're a little bit harder to reach. They aren't as stable, and a lot of them are made out of plastic, whereas the SteerStopper is made out of metal. So those are all good things about the SteerStopper. ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, what the SteerStopper does is relatively subtle, and I don't know necessarily if everyone is going to want to get a SteerStopper. I think some people who hear about this are going to think, yeah, I need that, I want that, that's really cool. And I also think that there's a large percentage of the population who's going to hear about the SteerStopper and say, I don't need that at all. So that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to say about the SteerStopper. It's been fun using it over the last couple months. And if you want to learn more about the SteerStopper, be sure to visit my website at bicycletouringpro.com. Click on the search bar there and enter SteerStopper. You'll find my review. It's also in the link in the video description down below. And of course, if you want to learn more about the SteerStopper from the official website or order a SteerStopper for your own bicycle, be sure to visit the website at SteerStopper.com.